Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being with us this morning. This is a special meeting of the Board of County Commissioners. We have just a couple of quick items this morning. First of all, we're not broadcasting this, but we are recording this, so it can be watched later on. And we do have just a couple of items. We'll get to that in just a minute, but it doesn't show it on the agenda, but I will ask the audience if there's anybody that would like to speak on these agenda items. So if you're here to speak on those items, I'd love to hear from you as well. And so with that, at this time, I would like to call to order the special meeting of the I'd like to call to order the special meeting of the Board of County Commissioners for the date of Monday, November the 21st of 2016. Madam Clerk, first item, please.
Roll call. Commissioner Unruh?
Present.
Commissioner Norton?
Present.
Commissioner Peterjohn?
Present.
Commissioner Ranzau?
Present.
Chairman Howell?
Present. All right, thank you. Next item, please.
Item A, amendment to the 2016 Capital Improvement Program, District 1.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, David Spears, Director of Public Works. Going to address both items A and B, the amendment and the agreement, all at once rather than have to repeat things twice. And then there will be one motion to cover everything at the end. Flooding from storms on July the 3rd and September the 9th has damaged a bridge on 61st Street North between Oliver and Woodlawn. The bridge consists of a pair of steel arch pipes, two at 12 foot 7 inches by 7 foot 9 inches, that have been in place since 1972. The initial storm damaged one of the pipes by buckling up about 40 feet of the bottom. The storm in September eroded supporting soils, which resulted in about 10 inches of deformation in the sidewall. It is not possible to repair the existing pipes. Additional storms could erode out enough supporting soil to allow the pipe failure to continue, which would lead to settlement and failure in the roadbed. Public Works has posted the bridge at 3 tons and implemented a monitoring program to detect settlement in the road. If settlement is detected or further damage is found after a rain event, the bridge will have to be closed. The road carries over 3,000 vehicles per day and is a major link between K-254 highway and the cities of Keachai and Park City. Sedgwick County's purchasing policy and the Kansas statutes provide for emergency repairs of roads and bridges. Projects would normally be advertised for 30 days and formal bids would be accepted and processed by the Sedgwick County Purchasing Department. The County Counselor's Office has advised that an agreement can be entered into based on expedited contracting procedures under Sedgwick County Charter Resolution 65, KSA 68-521, and KSA 68-1413 if certain conditions are met. These conditions are: the road has been damaged as a result of a disaster. Engineering reports have tied the damage to a disaster. The governor has declared the county as a disaster area. The declaration was issued on September 23, 2016. A hardship will result if the road is not immediately repaired. This finding can be made by the board. The board received an engineer's estimate for the project from the county engineer. The estimate's attached in the backup material. The contract must be awarded within 60 days of the governor's disaster declaration, so the last day to act is November 22nd. The purchasing director finds that an emergency exists. Competitive bidding requirements are waived by our purchasing director on November the 9th. Public Works staff has designed a replacement structure. In order to expedite the replacement process, precast concrete box culverts have been ordered from Wichita Concrete Pipe based on regular contract pricing at a cost of approximately $48,000. Plans have been prepared that would have a contractor use the pre-purchased material to construct the new bridge. Time savings will be achieved with this two-part purchase because it has allowed the fabrication of the critical material to proceed while design and contractor selection occurs. In preparation for this agenda, Public Works identified 5 completed projects that have had cost savings that can be moved to this new project and allow for replacement this year. We requested a CIP amendment to establish a budget for the contracted portion of the repairs. We'd originally anticipated a cost of approximately $200,000. The formal CIP amendment that we placed on your agenda would create a budget of $201,354.53. Under the emergency statutes in Charter 65, the county could implement almost any reasonable contracting process right down to negotiations with a single contractor. Public Works and Purchasing prefer some type of open bidding process, so an expedited bidding process was designed to involve as many contractors as possible. On Thursday, November 10th, Public Works sent out a project description and invitations to a non-mandatory pre-bid conference to be held on Tuesday, November 15th to 25 contractors. 10 contractors attended the pre-bid meeting. Final plans were provided to the contractors on Wednesday, November 16th that addressed comments or concern of attendees at the pre-bid conference. Interested contractors were required to submit bids by email to Public Works and the Purchasing Department no later than 5 p.m. on Friday, November 18th. Public Works has tabulated the bids and prepared a recommendation for consideration by the Board of County Commissioners. On Friday afternoon, we received bids from 3 contractors. We've distributed a tabulation of bids to you. For the record, we received the following bids. Claver Construction, $325,025.61. Meese Construction, $339,564. Donlinger Construction, $367,495. After reviewing the bids, we recommend that a contract be awarded to Claver Construction in the amount of $325,025.61. You've probably noticed that the low bid exceeds both the recommended CIP amendment amount and the engineer's estimate. We have verified with the county councilor that while one of the statutes requires that we give you an estimate, it does not require that the bid be below the estimate. We were able to identify project cost savings in 2 additional projects that can be moved to this project. We'll recommend that you amend the proposed CIP amendment by adding $140,207 from B486, which was a repair project at the MacArthur Road bridges at Lake Afton. We'll also recommend that you move $8,438.47 from B483, which is a repair project on MacArthur Road Bridge over the Arkansas River. When combined with the project cost savings that we did previously identify, the new project budget will be $350,000. That will provide about $25,000 in contingency funds for the project. We have 2 items for your consideration this morning. In the first item, we recommend that you approve the CIP amendment to create a project budget for B499 with a budget of $350,000. After approving that item, we recommend that you make certain findings, that you approve the use of an expedited bid process to select a contractor, that you award a contract for reconstruction of the bridge as recommended, and that you authorize the purchasing director or his designee to sign the agreement and any corresponding documents. I'd stand for any questions. We had a lot of help on this. Justin helped. We had people down at our shop working late at night to get the plans done. We've had a full team effort on this, and I appreciate everybody's help on it. So if I can't answer the question, I think we have people here who can.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you, Director Spears. Appreciate the presentation this morning. We'll go ahead and go to Commissioners first. Commissioner Peter John.
Thank you. Yes, very much appreciate the presentation. Is there a time frame for this project, Mr. Spears?
Yes. The window to start is between December 5th and December 12th, and it will be 45 working days.
Let me ask you, obviously this time of year weather can be a factor. What happens, I mean, our normal construction season is not normally things are pretty, December and January aren't our prime construction time frame. So can you talk about that a little bit?
You bet. Please? That's why our staff, exactly why we decided to go with precast concrete boxes. These boxes will be made at a factory, then shipped here, and then placed in the hole after we take out the metal arch pipes. So you don't have to form it up. You don't have to pour concrete, which takes a long time and also is weather sensitive. We'll have the boxes made, and that's why it'll be within 2 months time. 45 working days can be about 2 months. We'll have it we'll have it done. I don't think the weather should affect us that much.
Really, that's excellent news, and if we're looking at basically having the area, that road closed for the bridge for about 60, total of about 60 days, is that correct?
Yeah, 45 working days, or, you know, if there is some reason why they can't work, it'll extend, but it's, we think this is the very best way to go, and that we think it's full speed ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner Peter John. Commissioner Unruh?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Well, David, I appreciate, as you've expressed thanks to the team that helped put this together, I also want to express appreciation for that, because I know that this is a critical road into Keachai and to Park City. It's I've been up there and looked at it, and I know that you have restricted some traffic over this bridge already to make sure that it's safe for passenger cars and keeping the larger vehicles off of it. And I know that this is outside of what we originally thought it was going to take to repair this, but it's got to be done right, and it's got to be done so that it lasts in the future. So I think that this is the right way to approach it, and like I say, I'm glad you had all of our team involved so that we could come to the good conclusion. And I assume that doing this in one motion is been approved rather than have to do a CIP and then the project.
Yes, and we've run that by legal, and they're okay with that.
Okay. And although you mentioned it, I want to emphasize the fact so that anyone who's interested in this and paying attention that although in an emergency situation we could have just negotiated a contract for this, but you made the effort to put it out for bid so that we feel like we have a genuinely competitive price on this project. So.
Correct, and I especially feel good about it because all three prices were in the $300,000 range, and so we feel confident that it's a good price. And they were all reputable contractors who we've used before.
Okay, well, and I know that part of being able to expedite this project is a result of your relationships with the folks up at McPherson in the precast concrete factory up there. So.
Yes, we want to thank them because they've interrupted their line of making boxes, what they were going to do, and inserted us into their process, and that was a special favor to Sedgwick County.
Well, I know that the folks up in Keachai are going to be, if they're following this story along, they're going to be pleased that we put all of our effort into getting this, what is really a potentially dangerous situation taken care of as quickly and as expeditiously as we can. So
we work closely with Keachai. There were 3 utilities in the way, and they've been great to work with, and they're going to take care of getting those utilities moved in conjunction with the box.
Okay, well, good job, and I appreciate your effort on it. So I'm obviously going to be supportive of getting this project underway. So
Thank you.
that's all I have.
Thank you, Commissioner Unruh. Is there anybody in the audience who would like to speak to the agenda item before we move on? All right, seeing none. I have a couple of questions. First of all, have we worked with the Claybor before?
Yes, sir. Many times. They specialize in boxes, the type we're doing, and they also do where they build the box in place.
Very good. Was it necessary to have a declaration of disaster for us to do this process, or does that create some assistance available, or what's the importance of having this declared a disaster?
I'll let Justin answer that one.
Justin Wagoner, Assistant County Counselor. One of the statutes that David Spears had mentioned, actually, and there's a second statute that applies to bridges, they both require for the expenditure of funds under an emergency, that there be an emergency declared by the governor, and also that the contract be awarded within 60 days of that declaration. And that's for both bridges and roads. This is kind of a combination of both of the, it includes both bridge and road work. So that's the importance of the declaration, and also the timeliness factor, since the 22nd would be the last day that this action could be taken under those statutes. All
right. And so I guess I'm curious. It feels like we're kind of in a hurry here at the end. Did we know about this damage earlier in the 60-day window?
I could let Public Works address it maybe a little more specifically. I think they had some issues being able to see it because of the floodwaters that were in place and also getting right away from the property owners who lived there. But David Spears could probably answer some of those questions.
I think Justin answered that one too. There was after the first flood, water was standing there and we couldn't get in to see it. We thought we might be able to repair it. So we were in negotiations with property owners for several weeks trying to get additional right-of-way so we could get folks down in there to dewater that to see what the problem was. We have not been able to reach any agreement with one of the property owners. We did with the other one. We were able to get down there. We got it fixed so we could look at it, and when we saw the problem, we sent our bridge engineer out, and that's when I don't know if you've seen the pictures of it where it buckled, but it's not repairable, so it has to be replaced. And from then on, we knew it was an emergency. We have folks that look at it every day. We have a string line set up so we can watch to see if the road's settling. We've lowered it to a 3-ton load limit, so it's the biggest thing that we have going right now.
Very good. All right, I appreciate those good answers. And I assume that this road will have to be shut down completely during the reconstruction of this?
Yes, it'll have to be.
Okay. All right. I don't think I have any other questions or comments. Commissioners, any other comments or questions? Commissioner Unruh.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. If there are no other comments, I'd be happy to make a motion. And I will just read this since it's kind of a two-part and long. I'll just read it. It says, I move that we approve an amendment to the 2016 CIP to create Project B499 with a total budget of $350,000, that we make findings that the road has been damaged as a result of a disaster, that the governor has declared Sedgwick County as a disaster area, that a hardship would result if the road is not immediately reconstructed, that the county engineer has provided an estimate of the cost of reconstruction, and that it has been less than 60 days since the governor's declaration of disaster, and that based on these findings, we approve the use of an expedited bid process to select a contractor, that we select Claver Construction and award a contract in the amount of $325,025.61 for reconstruction of 61st Street North in Keachai, and that we authorize the purchasing director or his designee to sign the agreement and any corresponding documents.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. I'm glad you said all that because it was more than I could have ever said. It's a great motion. All right. Well, thank you, Commissioner Unruh. We have a motion and a second. Any final discussion before we vote? All right. Seeing none. Madam Clerk, please call the vote.
Commissioner Unruh?
Aye.
Commissioner Norton?
Aye.
Commissioner Peterjohn?
Aye.
Commissioner Ransall?
Aye.
Chairman Howell?
Aye. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Director Spears. Well, I believe that takes us to the end of the planned agenda. Is there anything from commissioners before we adjourn? Mr. Counselor, anything else?
Nothing else,
Mr. Manager?
No, sir.
All right. With that, thank you, everyone. We're adjourned.
Hey, David.